Good morning. We will discuss now multivariate linear regression. Multivariate linear regression, we will be denoting it as MVLR. MVLR. And there is another regression which is known as multiple linear regression, which we have already completed. That we have denoted like this MLR. So, the difference between the two will be discussed, and then in the same order, just see this slide, that we will go by the conceptual model, then we will describe the assumptions of the model, then we will estimate the parameters, then I go for sampling distribution of the parameters, finally overall assessment of model fit. That will be for this lecture, and then I think test of individual regression parameter, model diagnostics and other things will be discussed in the next lecture. So, now let us see that what is the difference between MVLR and MLR. Okay. So, in this diagram you see there are two parts. First one is this y1, y2, yq this side, right hand side, and left hand side you see that x0 to xp. This part, the right hand side part, is known as the dependence part, left hand side part is known as the independent part. What do we mean by this? We are saying that the variables y1, y2, yq are dependent variables and the variable x1 to xp are independent variables. Now, all the dependent variables starting from y1 to yq, they are dependent on the same set of independent variables x1 to xp. Okay. So, for example, let us consider only one variable y1, and then let us think that there are set of p independent variables, and obviously you have seen in multiple linear regression, that is, if you recall your MLR, multiple linear regression, you can find out that we have pictorially depicted the multiple linear regression part like this, where there will be several coefficients, those are known as regression coefficients, that y1 is affected by x1. So, 1 related to dependent side followed by another subscript that one is related to the independent side. So, beta 1 1. So, similarly, second variable from the independent side is x2, which affects y1. So, 1 is affected by 2. So, similarly, 1 is affected by pth independent variable. And we have also seen that there is a constant term x0, which we are saying that beta 1 is affected by x0, x0 always takes value 1. Okay. So, this is what is your MLR, and in MLR the equation is y1 equal to beta 10 plus beta 11 x1 plus beta 12 x2 like this, beta 1p xp plus epsilon 1. Okay. Correct? Now, let us add one more variable. Which variable? Dependent side. So, we are saying the independent structure remains same, x1 to xp, you are adding one more dependent variable y2. Then if I want to know how they are affecting, then 2 is affected by x1, so it will be beta 2 1, then y2 is affected by x2, it will be beta 2 2, then similarly at the end finally 2 is affected by xp to p. Okay. So, it also has that x0 component. So, we can say that we can bring from here, you can, I am writing here again. So, beta 2 is affected by 0. So, if I write down this y2 equal to beta 2 0 plus beta 2 1 x1 beta 2 2 x2. So, like this beta 2 p xp plus epsilon 2. So, in this diagram, that means then there is another component which is epsilon 2. Similarly, for the y1 case there will be another component which is epsilon 1. So, this one when we have added y2, it becomes MVLR, multivariate linear regression. So, if I now think the difference, then if I write MLR, then dV will be 1, and if I write MVLR, your dV will be greater than 1, any value. Your IVs are P, here your IVs are also P number of IVs. Okay. So, here in MLR your as dependent variable is 1. So, beta is the parameter vector which is basically beta 10, beta 11 like beta 1p, which will be your p plus 1 cross 1. But here what happened, if we assume that total dV equal to q, then your beta is no longer p plus 1 cross 1, it will become p plus 1 cross q because of q variable, q dependent variables, correct. So, for this case you can see that here what we have written here in this case. So, if I consider this particular example, then your this one your beta is beta 10, beta 11, beta 12 like this beta 1p, then beta 20, beta 21, beta 22, beta 2p. Getting me? So, here that means here q equal to 2. This is what now you may be interested to add many more variables in the y side. Instead of 2, q may be 10, and then you will be having 10 simultaneous regression equations. This is for first variable, second variable, like this you will be having equation for yq, which is beta q is affected by the constant term plus beta q 1 x1, beta q 2 x2. So, like this beta q p xp plus epsilon p. Okay. So, then we can write in matrix term. Matrix term, if we want to write, what we will get? we will get y variable which is y1, y2 like this yq, q cross 1. We have x independent variable side x1, x2, xp, p cross 1. Okay. You also have your epsilon 1, epsilon 2 like this, epsilon q, q cross 1 random that error variables, correct, and you have also beta, that will be your beta 10, beta 11, beta 12, then beta 1p, beta 20, beta 21, beta 22, beta 2p, beta q0, beta q1, beta q2, so like this beta qp. This will be p plus 1 cross q. Okay. So, I am saying this is my dv, this one my ivs, this is my errors, this is my regression coefficients. So, if you consider x as design matrix, suppose x is the design matrix, then see this x1 to xp, these variables are there, but x0 will come into consideration, that we will see when we collect data. Getting me? Then you see this example. I told you that profit, sales, absenteeism, these are the things. Now, here profit and sales, they can be dependent variables, and absenteeism, machine and M ratio can be independent variables. And then this is the example from this conceptual model point of view, what we are discussing about the CT scan. So, identify variables of interest, this is the first step. You identified that profit, sales volume, percentage absenteeism, machine breakdown, M ratio, these are the variable of interest. Now, you have to identify what are the dependent or response variables. So, in this case y1 is profit and y2 is sales volume are the dependent variable. You have to identify the explanatory variables or independent variables of interest, your x1, x2, x3, 3 independent variables. Then you have to find out the relationship y equal to function of x. In this case, we are talking about linear relationships. And then this is your diagram for multivariate linear regression model, correct. So, in general what will happen? There will be p and they said there will be q, that is the case. Okay. Now, come to the data point, come to data. So, we require data for y. Suppose we will collect in data points on q y variables, that n data points on q y variables will give you y n cross q matrix. So, let us write down this y11, y12, y21, you write y11, y21 like this, yi1 like this, yn1. What is this? This data set, this data vector is on variable y1. So, n data points on variable y1. So, 1, 1 to n. Okay. So, I will go for variable 2. So, first observation on variable 2, second observation on variable 2. So, like this ith observation on variable 2. So, like this y n 2. This is my second observation on variable 2. So, in the same manner you will be finding out first observation on variable 1, first observation on variable q, second observation on variable q. So, like this ith observation of variable q, when I am saying variable 1 or variable 2 or variable q, these are all related to y variable. So, same manner n observation on y variable q. So, this is my y q. Okay. So, this is what is data, this is related to data. Now, so long you are not collecting this data, these all data points are random, and we will describe later that we assume multivariate normality. Then your another data is point is x, which we talk about as design matrix in this case, correct. So, if I say design matrix, then how many variables will be there? P variables plus constant. So, all 1. So, this is the x0 part equal to 1, this for constant. Then I will come to the second one, x variable observation 1 on variable 1, observation 2 on variable 1, observation I on variable 1, then observation n on variable 1. This is my IV1 x1. So, similarly, you will be finding out x variable observation 1 on x variable p, observation 2 on p. So, like this I on p. So, like this n on p. So, this is your xp independent side. So, then this matrix is n cross q y matrix, and the x matrix will be n cross p plus 1, p plus 1. Okay. So, if you take with this, if you take the ith observation now we will take the ith observation. For all the cases we will be taking the ith observation. So, ith observation is this here it is ith observation is this, correct. So, let us write the ith observation, what is the status. So, if you write the ith observation, the general equation is y. Okay. So, we will write ith observation for which one? For the first variable. So, ith observation first y. Okay. So, this can be written like this: beta G1 is affected by 0 plus beta 1 is affected by 1, then x ith observation. So, in this manner you will be getting beta 1 is affected by p x I p. So, similarly you will be getting for y I 2 beta 2 0, beta 2 is affected by 1 x I 1, like this beta 2 is affected by p x I p, correct. Same manner you can, if you write the kth variable y I k equal to beta I think k 0 plus beta k is affected by 1 x I1, like this beta k is affected by p x I p, then you go for y I p k I q. This will be beta q 0, beta q 1 x I 1, like this beta q p x I p. So, this is from the x point of view, y and x, but x cannot capture y in totality. So, the error term we also require to add everywhere, that we have not added here. So, this will be your related to first variable, related to second y variable, related to third k y variable, related to q y variable, but these are all related to ith observation. Okay. So, x I 1, epsilon I 1, epsilon I 2, epsilon I k, epsilon I q. Correct. So, if you take this in general, that for I equal to 1 to n observations, because you have total n observations. So, this set will be repeating n times, getting me. So, that is why what happened, you are getting y n cross q, that y 1, this I is change from 1 to n, this one, that variable change from q, and then this one, this side you see that x, that x will be your, it also will be n cross p plus 1, then there will be beta, this beta will be p plus 1 cross q, plus you have epsilon, which is n cross q. This is the general equation. In terms of data, the regression equation, multivariate, multiple regression. Okay. Here we have included the data points. So, this is our model. This is our model. Now, see that what is required, similar to MLR, you require to estimate beta, you require to estimate the epsilon also, but here it is not a one dependent variable case, q dependent variable case, your estimation is now more in number, getting me, the totality is more. So, we will proceed with estimation, and this is one the same example what we have discussed. So, we have considering profit and sales y 1 y 2 and our absenteeism, breakdown hours, M ratio. So, this is x, as I told you, for x there will be 1 and these are the x 1, x 2, x 3. So, this is 12 cross 1, 12 cross 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 12 cross 4, and this one is your 12 cross 2 matrix. So, I will show you the result of this matrix, basically this data set. Okay. Now, what are the assumptions? This model MBLR is also applicable under certain assumptions like MLR. The assumptions are, you see errors are multivariate normal, error is now epsilon n cross q. In MLR what is the error? N cross 1. In MLR error is n cross 1. In MBLR error is n cross q. Keep in mind this difference. Okay. So, in MLR what we have discussed, that the error variance error variance across all x observations, they will be same, which is known as homogeneity condition. So, homogeneous sorry that we can say homoscedasticity. Homoscedasticity problem we have discussed, homoscedasticity problem with respect to simple regression we have discussed x and y. Then we say this is my regression line which is y cap, and then when there are different observations we say that the variance of y across x observations, different values, this value, this value, this value, they are same, that is homoscedasticity. So, here also this remains same, that error variances are equal across observations conditional on predictors. It is true, because if this one is xi, this particular value is expected value of y given x equal to xi. This is conditional on predictor, correct. Now, errors have common covariance structure across observations. This is another assumption. Please understand that when we talk about MLR, we talk about across observations of x, we talk about error variances are equal. But here what is happening, your x side remains same, but y side is now multiple. Means what I mean to say, this is my x, suppose this is my observations, this is the x variables, but you have q number of, this is p number of x, q number of y. So, if I say that p, this is my ith observation is this, ith observation on x. So, fine, this is 1, 2, 3 like this, but for these ith observations, as you have q number of y variables, so what will happen ultimately here? So, everywhere, so if you take any observation, you are getting this q y combinations. So, that is why the third assumption is when we have q variable, so this variance will convert it to covariance, variance will be leading to covariance. So, covariance of y. So, that means here I will be talking about covariance of y, here I will be talking about covariance of y, here I will be talking about covariance of y. Understood? So, covariance of y, as y is n cross q, what will be covariance of y? That is covariance of, you can write that y minus this mean and all those things. So, finally, you can write y minus y bar, that transpose, this is the expected value of this y minus y bar. This will be q cross n, n cross q. So, you will be getting something like this, which is q cross q. Go back to the first class, first or second lectures what we have discussed. So, we say there are p variables. So, now I can write down this covariance structure like this, covariance sigma 1 square, sigma 1 2, sigma 1 q here, because we are taking q y variables, sigma 1 2, sigma 2 square, sigma 2 q. Now, sigma 1 q, sigma 2 q, sigma q square. Actually, sigma 1 1 is sigma 1 square. So, sigma 2 2 is sigma 2 square, like this sigma q q is sigma q square. This is the variance part. Okay. So, in third assumption we are saying error have covariance equal or common covariance structure, basically common covariance structure means means for this observation, this observation, this observation, this observation related to x, related to x, this is the ith observation, and here I think observation, this side I think we are saying n, basically these are all x variable. Okay. For for every observation, so ith observation, similarly some other observation, some other observation, for every observation what will happen ultimately, you will be finding sigma, capital sigma. Okay. This is the y's variability, and we are assuming here that, see, y, if you see the diagram, we are saying that y1, y2 like this, then yq, and this side is a set of x, and we are linking to everywhere here, and then we are saying this is my multivariate, but we are not talking about anything related to y1, y2, y2, yq. We are assuming that their correlation structure is insignificant or negligible basically. So, if this is the case, what will happen? This off diagonal elements, that becomes 0. Okay. So, as all of you know that in the regression side, this variability part ultimately will be captured by error. So, we can say this is the error covariance also. Your y is n cross q, similarly error is also n cross q. So, if I want to find out what is the expected value of error, this will become 0. This is the assumption, and expected value of error transpose error, the reason is we want to find out the covariance of error. So, covariance of error is expected value of this minus mean transpose then this. So, as mean is 0, so this is the case. So, this one will be q cross n, this is n cross q. So, ultimately this will be q cross q. So, this we are saying this. So, that means the error, the regression error covariance matrix is this, and we are saying that covariance from one dependent variable to other dependent variable, that variability is like this, the covariance between epsilon k and epsilon suppose j, two different variable, this 0. And covariance epsilon k, that is sigma k square. Correct? Then, so you require to test this. Then the last one is independent observations. Independent observations. How do you test independent observation? So, that means no autocorrelation. Independent observation mean one observation y, we are talking about related to y. One observation is independent of others, it is not influenced by other observation. So, if you see the observation order vis-a-vis the plot, for every variable you can do this observation order. Then suppose this is yk, then you will be getting a plot random. A random plot, observation, first observation, second observation, third observation, like this. Okay. So, nutshell, what is there? The errors is very important component in regression, and that too true in multivariate multiple regression also. So, error will ultimately tells you all the assumptions. First one is it will be your multivariate normal distribution. So, it will be MND. So, we say error is n cross q. So, definitely it will be q, that means it will be a NQ. that the mean value epsilon, and you have to find out the variance, variance component, what will be the value. So, this you have to find out. Now, this is multivariate one. Second assumption is our homoscedasticity, equal covariance. So, if you have observation, different observations, suppose n observations you have collected, then all will be equal to this. This is the common covariance matrix. Your error variances are equal, we say across observations, common covariance structure, and that means another one is error variance means for every y variable. If I say y k, then if I take the observation related to y k, then y 1 k, y 2 k, like this y n k observations will be there, and corresponding error will be epsilon k, this one will be epsilon 1 k, epsilon 2 k, like this epsilon n k. Then what we mean by that errors are equal variance, that means variance of epsilon 1 k equal to variance of epsilon 2 k, like this equal to variance of epsilon n k, that will be sigma k square. Keep in mind, that will be sigma k square. So, k stands from 1 to q. And now, where from you will get the k? You will get the k from the source common covariance matrix, sigma 1 square, sigma 2 1 2, sigma 1 p, sigma 1 2, sigma 2 square, sigma 2 p, sigma 1 k, sigma 2 k, sigma k square, sigma k p. So, like this sigma 1 p, sigma 2 p, sigma p. P will give, now we will give q. Why q? Q variable. P we are using for independent side. Okay. So, this diagonal matrix, I think you understood fully. So, these are the assumptions. This assumption. Now, actually what will happen later on, you will see that you cannot, you do not know this value, this matrix, you have to estimate, you have to estimate from data. So, our next issue is estimation of parameters. I think this estimation of parameters we will complete this session by using describing this estimation of parameters. So, our equation is y is x beta plus epsilon, and if we estimate, we say y cap equal to x beta cap. Okay. This is our fitted values. This is the estimated parameter, estimated beta. These are observed values. And this you know the error term. Okay. So, I have something to say here, something more to say here. What I mean to say, that please remember that y is, there are q y variables, getting me. So, similarly and p x variables. So, that means this beta what you estimate, that will be how many parameters will be there? It will be matrix. What will be that matrix? That will be p plus 1 cross q. Now, in MLR what will happen? MLR beta is p plus 1 cross 1. So, additionally it is coming like this. So, that means if I write like this, y equal to something like this, y1, y2, then it is yq, this y, then this equal to we say x beta. Can I not write like this, beta 1, beta 2, beta q. So, plus you will get what, epsilon. This epsilon is also having epsilon 1, epsilon 2, like epsilon q, no q, this is q, this is q will be there. So, so it is, this equation is nothing but, as we have seen, basically q MLR, q number of MLR means y1 equal to x beta 1 plus epsilon 1, y2 equal to x beta 2 plus epsilon 2. Similarly, yq equal to x beta q plus epsilon q. So, this is MLR 1, MLR 2, MLR q. So, q MLR is there. Then what will we have to estimate them? What do we have to estimate? We have to estimate beta 1 to beta q, and again beta 1 is p plus q in p plus 1 into q, and everywhere beta 1 is also p plus 1 cross q vector, beta 2 also p plus 1 cross q, sorry, beta 1 p plus 1 vector, this is also 1 vector. Please remember, beta in a nutshell, beta is p plus 1 cross q, but beta 1 p plus 1 cross 1, beta 2 p plus cross into 1, like this, beta q, that also p plus 1 cross 1 vector. So, if you go, what is the procedure in MLR, what way we suppose is one y variable and we estimate first the error term. For example, if I recollect y1 equal to x beta 1 plus epsilon 1, that one MLR, what you have done? You have done first find out epsilon 1, that is y1 minus x beta 1. So, if I forget about 1, because we are talking this subscript 1, we are talking about only one variable in this case. So, general term is y minus x beta, then you have found out y transpose, that is epsilon transpose epsilon, that is y minus x beta transpose y minus x beta, and then you have, that is, this is what we say sum square errors, sum square errors. Then you have regress sum square, you have found out the derivatives of sum square the SSE with respect to beta, and then you put it to 0, and finally you got the equation like this, beta cap is x transpose x inverse x transpose y. This was the estimation procedure there. This is, I am talking in terms of MLR, multiple linear regression. Okay. Now, if we consider y1 in that, we want to keep that notation, then this will be beta 1 and this will be y1. X part remains same, because no way in multivariate regression also x part is unchanged, y part is having additional y's, that is the issue. Okay. So, in the same manner, so what happened ultimately here in this case, when you have collected n into 1 data points, and ultimately your this one is 1 into n into 1, and ultimately SSE is 1 into 1. So, it is a scalar quantity. SSE is a scalar quantity in case of MLR. Now, what will happen in this case? Suppose we are coming to MBLR. MBLR, same thing, y is x beta plus epsilon, but this one we are saying n cross q, this one n cross p plus 1, this one is n p plus 1 cross q, this is your n cross q. So, let us see what will happen. We want to see the our error terms. So, error epsilon is now y minus x beta. So, error is n cross q. In sense also y minus x beta is n cross q. Now, we want to find out the sum square errors like MLR, that is to be minimized. So, if I want to do this, then if I will make like this epsilon transpose, this will be q cross n into epsilon, which is n cross q. So, what is happening here? You are getting a q cross q matrix. So, I cannot say it is a scalar quantity, it is a matrix, and as a result this will give you a structure like this. And your these elements will be sum of I equal to 1 to n epsilon I 1 square. The second diagonal element will be I equal to 1 to n epsilon I 2 square. Similarly, the last diagonal will be I equal to 1 to n epsilon I q square, and off diagonal element will be the covariant structure epsilon I 1 epsilon I 2 like this. So, like this, getting me. So, your error now this your sum square errors is no longer a scalar, it is a matrix, and it is symmetric, it has diagonal elements, the variance component of diagonal element, the covariance component of these error terms, although we assume that the covariance component will be 0, that is our assumption. So, that means this epsilon transpose epsilon is now sum square cross product, getting me. Earlier we have described this sum square cross product epsilon E we can write, or you can say sum square epsilon, let it be E. E stands for error. Okay. Now, what we want? We want this matrix should be as minimum as possible, because in MLR we have seen ML that SSE the minimum, then we make derivative, we get derivative of SSE with respect to beta values, we put it to 0 and we got this equation. We want the same thing here. We want this matrix to be minimum as possible. Now, if we assume that the off diagonal elements are 0, then what we want? We do not want only that individual diagonal elements will be as minimum as possible. We want the total as minimum as possible. The total sum square across all the y variables as minimum as possible. So, what we do, that is why we take the stress of SSCPE or stress of SSCPE, or you can say stress value of epsilon transpose epsilon, this is the diagonal values. So, this will be sum total of diagonal values epsilon I 1 square epsilon I 2 square like this epsilon I q square. So, we will minimize the stress, your aim is minimize this. Getting me? You have to minimize the stress. So, now how do you minimize? What is your control here? Your control is you want the estimate in such a manner that this will minimize this. So, your control is beta. Now see, beta is not a single here, beta is basically what is the dimension of beta? P plus 1 into q. So, this first one is for beta 1, that is p plus 1 into 1, second one will be for beta 2. So, like this, getting me. So, what do we require? We require that we will find out derivative of stress of this with respect to particular beta, getting me. Now, by saying this, if I say beta k, then it is coming to the univariate case. So, beta k actually again you have j equal to 1 to 0 to 1, 0 to p, number of independent variables. So, ultimately beta kj will come. So, this thing you will put into 0, So, actually what will happen, you can write like this, epsilon, this quantity cannot be, we cannot write like this, that epsilon is y minus x beta. So, epsilon transpose epsilon is y minus x beta transpose y minus x beta. So, when we are taking derivative trace, that means you are taking trace of this, means trace of this, that means only the diagonal elements are coming. So, this then when you are taking the derivative of this with respect to this, when you are talking about the first beta 1 and that too beta 1 0, then ultimately all other things become 0, only that quantity will be used for derivation. So, ultimately it will end into that means with it end into the individual y variables, and as a result when you do this type of manipulation, ultimately you will be getting beta cap, which is nothing but x transpose x inverse, okay, x transpose, I can say y1, y2, like this yq, getting me. Actually this quantity will be multiplied to everyone. So, this totality when I write y, then this one is x transpose x inverse x transpose capital Y. What is the difference between this versus MLR beta? Here y is q number of variable y variables are there, in MLR that will be 1. Okay. So, this is our estimated case. Okay. So, essentially what we can say here, we can say that in this is a least square estimate, and in least square estimate for MBLR you will get beta cap like this, which is your beta 1 cap, beta 2 cap, beta q is there, q cap, beta 1 q variables are there, and this is nothing but here beta 1 cap means beta 1 0, beta 1 1. So, like this, beta 1 is affected by your p, this is your beta 2 0, then beta 2 is affected by 1, like this beta 2 is affected by p, similarly beta q 0, beta q 1, then beta q is affected by p. This is the case. And this one is, as we are saying that x transpose x inverse x transpose, and we are saying that y is there. So, can we not write like this? This one is similar to y1, y2 like this, this much is not required like this. Then y1 is again y1 1 2, that in all those things are there. So, nutshell what I mean to say that, if you want to do this one is x transpose x inverse x transpose y1. Similarly, beta 2 cap is x transpose x inverse x transpose y2. So, like this beta q cap is x transpose x inverse x transpose yq. Got it? So, that means you may go for individual MLR and then you whatever beta value you get, and in MBLR also you will get the same thing. From beta point of view there is absolutely no problem, because here you are doing q number of computations, here in one computation you are getting q beta vectors. Okay. So, both are same, then where is the difference? If I get the same beta value while going for q MLR, why should I go for 1 MBLR? The error comes in the not error, and the difference comes in error terms, because you have n errors and these errors are multivariate errors. Every observation is multivariate. Earlier in MLR your n errors are there, but from every univariate error, one observation for one error, but it is a multivariate observation now on q variables. That is the difference. Other way there is no difference. So, that means as error plays the significant role in regression. So, what do you want to do then? That means your all treatment will be in the multivariate domain here, that q every error observation is q data points, q number for y1 to yq. So, test statistics differs, test statistics will differ. It is similar to ANOVA and MANOVA. If you remember in ANOVA, one response variable and several population in one way, and two way, that two factors and one response variable. Then you have used the ANOVA table, you have gone for F distribution, but in MANOVA what happened? MANOVA you have not got the straight cut this F distribution, that is your SS what I can say factor by your SS error, that means MS factor, that you did not get in MANOVA. Instead you got SSCP there, and then you have gone for different test like Wills lambda test. It happened, similar thing happened here also, getting me. So, we will not go for like simple one coefficient of determination r square, we will go for, instead we will go for likelihood ratio test like Wills lambda, getting me. That is the issue. So, ultimately your estimation part no problem, but model adequacy test will differ, your test statistics will differ, and but again the diagnostics case you will find out the similarity with MLR. But the beauty of this MLR is that it for the multivariate situation also it can capture. So, many a times we do not go for MBLR, but if MBLR, when there are more number of y variable, better to test through MBLR, and because similar, it is not tough. Okay. Thank you very much. Next class I will go for in detail the sampling distribution of beta, then model adequacy test and other things.